back in 1998, I think it was, no, 97, I was approached through a third party to meet a CIA scientist who was desperate to get out what was going on, but he couldn't for reasons that became clear. I met him, and he told me that he joined the CIA as a young man in his 20s, a genius in the area of magnetics, and he wanted to serve his country. Again, the pyramid down here in this, people say, it's the CIA. No, it's that which controls the CIA. Not everyone in the CIA is involved in this, please. So he soon realized, he said, that they didn't want his genius to serve his country or serve anyone else. They wanted his genius to advance this agenda of the Orwellian state. And he told me a number of things that were going on, but specifically to the microchip, he said this. He said, first of all, microchips outside the public arena are so small they can be inserted with a hypodermic needle in a vaccination program. And secondly, he said, even those that are waking up and are saying, yes, the microchip is about electronic tagging so the computer knows where you are all the time. Yes, that's one level of it. But what he said was the real reason and the real thing we need to focus on is not the messages going from the chip to the computer, but the messages coming the other way. Because he said that but they can isolate an individual or do it en masse, and they can manipulate them mentally in terms of their thought processes. They can manipulate them emotionally, and they can affect them physically, including killing them. And I tell you how serious this is. I said to him the obvious question, look, if you're involved in this and you don't want to be, why do you keep going? And he started to open his shirt. And as he opened his shirt, he said, this is why. And on his chest was like a see-through plastic shampoo sachet. And inside was this orangey golden liquid. And he said, this is what they call in the CIA a patch, someone being patched. He says, there's scientists all over this country and the wider world who are patched. He said, what happened was I resisted what they were pressuring me to do. He said, and I left home one day, and then I have missing time. I don't remember a thing. He said, the next thing I remember was waking up on this medical type bench in this room. And he says, as I got my faculties back, I realized there was something stuck to my chest. And what they'd done was manipulated his body to need the drug in this patch to survive. And the patch has to be replaced every 72 hours. And if it's not replaced, he starts to die. And he resisted again after he was patched, and he did start to die, and it was a very painful death. And he has children, he has a family, he doesn't want to die. And he was saying that if people say no to just one thing in this whole agenda, say no to the microchip, because once we're microchipped, then we are literally robots of an external force. And this whole war on terror, manufactured war on terror, frightening people into giving their freedoms away, at the end of this road is a global microchip population.